Around 12 million animals are used each year in scientific procedures in the EU, and among these around 10,000 are non-human primates, mainly monkeys and apes. Experiments on such primates have led to important findings in biology and medicine. Currently, primates are only used in animal experiments when there are no suitable and alternative methods or species. They are mainly used for safety testing of pharmaceutical products and devices, but also for fundamental research in biology and for research and development of medicinal products and devices. Nearly all primates used in scientific experiments are born to animals that themselves are bred in captivity, sometimes for several generations. With regard to animal welfare, major investments have been made in recent years to improve housing conditions of captive primates, taking into consideration their physical and social needs. PETA has reported that about 105,000 primates are captured each year for these experiments. However, why are primates needed in research and safety testing? Before pharmaceuticals reach the consumer, their safety has to be tested on humans during clinical trials. Preliminary experiments on animals, often rats and dogs, are intended to protect the health of people taking part in these trials. Only few candidate pharmaceuticals are actually tested on non-human primates. Primates are needed to test certain drugs with potential effects on the female genital organs, eyes, birth outcomes, blood coagulation, or the brain, as they're only mammals with specific psychological traits similar to humans. Primates play a unique role in brain research because they're the only animals with brains that approach the complexity of the human brain. Research on pain and experiments on primates which require entering the skull raise difficult ethical concerns. Some new, non-invasive research techniques are being developed that can be used on humans and primates, but important limitations remain. Some animal cruelty organizations are against the use of primates for testing and experiments. The main one being PETA. PETA is an American right organization based in Norfolk, Virginia, and led by Ingrid Newkirk. They claim that more than 105,000 primates are imprisoned in labs, and they claim that primates are abused and killed in invasive, painful, and terrifying experiments. They've also explained to people that primates go through pharmaceutical and vaccine tests, and PETA is working through public education, cruelty investigation, and protest campaigns to put an end. First, the monkeys go through pharmaceutical tests. In these tests, thick garbage tubes are forced up primates' nostrils or down the animals' throats so that experimental drugs can be pumped into their stomachs. Even though the National Institute of Health reports that animal tests have been appalling 95% failure rate in predicting the safety and/or effectiveness of pharmaceuticals, whereas in vaccine tests, chimpanzees and monkeys are given infectious diseases and then used as test subjects for experimental vaccines. Even though decades of these experiments on primates have failed to produce effective vaccines for humans and monkeys, they are still infected with HIV-like diseases to cause them to suffer acute face loss, major organ failure, breathing problems, and neurological disorders before they die excruciatingly painful deaths or are killed. The Research Ethics Board has also set several standard operating procedures when it comes to primate testing. They have said that procedures provide detailed direction for performing tasks in accordance with animal research regulations. Another organization that is against the use of primates in laboratory experiments is the Animal Protection Party of Canada, which is led by Elizabeth Abbott, which represents the interests of all animals at the municipal, provincial, and federal level. However, the government of Ontario has a slightly different stance when it comes to this problem. They have said that primates are not protected by laws such as human rights because they're not considered humans. However, increasing number of governments are enacting bans, for example, Spain being one of them. The Ontario government has encouraged and introduced a 3R system, which includes the three main points. Number 1, refining the scientific procedure. Number 2, reducing the use of primates. Number 3, replacing primates with variable alternatives. Some universities and educational institutions have also come under a lot of criticism. The University of California has been alleged to have been illegally using primates in isolation, whereas the University of Wisconsin has also received criticism for conducting experiments on monkeys. As we all know, along with people being against a topic, there are also people that are for the topic. And some of them are companies such as one being Concave. So they are a contract research organization providing drug development and animal testing services. And they're known to trap and capture a lot of primates from all over the world and perform experiments on them for products and devices. And another company similar to Concave is Primate Products Inc. They have dedicated their time to the conservation and care of non-human primates to produce products and services. Research in neuroscience collects knowledge on how the human brain works and helps understand the spinal cord. So patients rely on this research for cure and survival against diseases such as Parkinson's and Alzheimer's. So patients are also someone that are for animal testing, and specifically primate testing, which is my topic. As I've already mentioned, primates are used in animal experiments when there are no suitable alternative methods or species. So that brings me to my next question. Could alternatives completely replace the use of primates in the future because there are no alternatives right now? So in the foreseeable future, experimentation of human primates is unlikely to be completely replaced by laboratory methods or by tests on another animal species. For the testing of new pharmaceuticals, primates are also likely to remain the most suitable mammals. For example, to study HIV infection, genetically modified mice will be probably available in the future. However, for scientific reasons, studies using mice cannot completely replace those using primates. In research on the brain's structure and function, non-invasive techniques which do not require entering the skull and computer modeling can be used alongside invasive methods but cannot replace them completely. However, new techniques and technologies are developing quickly and advances must be accessed frequently. The development of artificial organs and tissues may reduce the need to use primates to test drugs that prevent rejection of animal organs by humans. However, these artificial body parts are mainly used in life support machines and do not represent an alternative animal to human organ transplantation. However, there are some ways we can reduce the amount of primates being used. So by making current animal tests for reproductive toxicity more effective so that fewer primates are needed, by improving communication between facilities that carry out experiments on animals so that they share information, ideas and expertise and avoid duplicating experiments, by encouraging the development of new techniques that may reduce and partly replace the use of non-human primates in testing of medicines, vaccines, and drugs used in animal to human organ transplantation. The main reason these primates are tested are to help to find cures and collect research for many top diseases that are currently in the world, such as Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. From 2001 to 2011, around 80,000 Canadians died due to Alzheimer-related causes and sickness, whereas 100,000 died from Parkinson's from 2000 to 2014. Although I am against animal cruelty, I believe primate testing should not be banned as these patients rely on this research for survival. However, I do believe the government can make people and organizations who are against this, such as PETA, happy. The government should set a limit of primates that are captured from the wild, which is the main point animal cruelty organizations are calling out for. Around 100,000 were imprisoned in laboratories in North America alone. PETA and other organizations claim that these primates are abused and killed. Although the experiments are vital, if it is possible, the government should try to reduce that number to 70,000. This way, the animal cruelty organization will cool their anger, as for them, things will be going in the right direction and improving. On the other hand, scientists will be able to spend more time studying these primates and hopefully try more seriously to get new advancements. The best way to do this would be establishing a new law that limits the number of primates caused by pharmaceutical companies. The government can check the numbers by making them register the primates.